Hello and welcome to a new YouTube tutorial by Peakboard. In our video today, we'd like to show you different ways to change screens in your visualization. We're going to focus most specifically on swiping, buttons, input devices such as presenters, the display time of a given screen, and changing screens using a script. Now we'd like to show you how you can change screens by swiping. To do that, first click on Scripts and then on Global Events. Here, you're going to first select Swipe Left Events. In the editor, you'll now enter runtime.showNextScreen. With this, the next screen will be shown when the user swipes to the left. By swiping right, we now want to display the previous screen. For that, we're going to create a swipe right event. Here, we aren't going to enter Show Next, but rather Show Previous Screen. The majority of all commands for the editor can also be found in the menu bar on the right. Since we're dealing with a runtime command, you'll need to first click on Runtime and then select Show Previous Screen. In the preview, we can now see that the next screen can be shown by swiping to the left. If we swipe right, the previous screen is shown. Next, we want to show you how we can change screens using a text box or a button. For this, you're going to create a tab event and then enter the name of the screen that we want to reach. To do this, we're going to again go to the menu bar on the right inside the editor and select Show Screen by Title. Now, it's important to enter the correct name of the screen. You can find this name written in parentheses behind each screen on the left. We are now going to repeat this process for all of the text boxes on each of the screens in order to make sure that we can later always navigate between all of the screens by clicking on the appropriate text boxes. In the preview, we can now see that when we click on any of the text boxes, the appropriate screen is displayed. Now we want to show you how to change screens using a presenter or any other kind of input device. For this, I've created an empty visualization into which I'm now going to add a text box. I'm going to name it so that I'll be able to address it using a script later on. Next, I'll create a global event, which is to be executed when a button is pushed. In this global event, I'm going to make it so that the button that's pressed on our input device, in this case a presenter, is written into the text box. If I start the runtime at this point, I can check what input my presenter returns. To do that, I'm first going to click on Left to show the previous page and get Page Up returned as the input. If I click on Right to get to the next page, I get Page Down as the input. With this information, we can now return to our actual visualization. Here, we're also going to create a key press event. In this one though, we're going to check which button was pressed. If the button is called Page Down, we'll want it to display the next page. To do that, we're going to enter runtime.showNextScreen. If the page is called Page Up, so the left button on the presenter, we want it to display the previous page. For that, we're going to enter runtime.showPreviousScreen. In the preview, we can now see that when we click on a button on the presenter, the screen is changed. The screens in your visualization can also be changed using a timer. To do that, you'll need to go to each screen and assign a duration to it. This can be customized for each screen individually. When you have multiple screens, however, it's important that every screen has a display duration. Otherwise, the visualization will simply remain on the screen that has a display duration of 0 seconds when it reaches that point. In the preview, we can now see that the visualization rotates through its screens automatically. Next, we'd like to show you how you can change screens using a script. In our use case, only one of the 3 screens should be shown at any time, depending on the time of day. Because of this, we're going to start by creating a time data source. Next, we're going to create a timer script, which will start by formatting the time. To do that, we're going to first use the time data source and then transform that time into a number. In the next step, we're going to check whether the number is smaller than 12, which would indicate that the first screen should be shown. If the number is larger than 12, but smaller than 16, the second screen is supposed to be shown. In any other case, the third screen should be displayed. In the preview, we can now see that it must be before noon because the first screen is shown. Thanks very much for watching. If you liked our video, we would love it if you'd give us a thumbs up. If you have any questions about our video, or if you have any ideas for what you'd like us to cover in our next video, please simply leave us a comment.